We only met once in person before.
I don't.
Ever since we are Skyping regularly and liking each other's posts on Facebook.
All the time.
Lecturing for each other over Skype.
I'm paid for it.
So
to put likes.
No, not for that. You also really liked my coat picture. So I made sure this is not the one, but it's coming. So at least something just for you this time. Aldo Sollazzo from Barcelona.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, everybody. So we are a small office in Barcelona, and I want to introduce you a little bit the team and what we are doing. It's an office that was founded in 2011, in reality in Italy. But then after an experience in Barcelona, I found some really cool guys. One is Indian, another one is Greek, and we decided to open this office in Barcelona in 2014. This is the team. Basically, what we have in common? It's our learning path. We all are coming from the IaaC, the Institute for Advanced Architecture of Catalona, where I'm also now director of the visiting program. We all did the Fab Academy program, the program that is run by Neil Gershenfield, and is based on the Center of Bit and Atoms program of how to make almost anything. And actually, what we do is let's say projects that are subdivided into 3 different categories: design, research, and education. So what I'm going to do, basically, I'm going to just give you a quick review of what we are establishing, what we are doing in these 3 branches. But before doing it, I would like to say that our goal basically is to try to get out of the comfort zone, like I was saying to you before, Stuart. We are trying to get all the information, all the knowledge, all this experience, all these beautiful things that also we saw in these 2 days here. And we are really pushing those things outside of the academies, outside of the institutions, outside of the schools. We are trying to create a bridge, actually that is very difficult in Barcelona, which is not the US. We don't have so many big fundings around us. But we are trying to make those things happen in an environment that is a little bit more critical and a little bit more tough to work with. Actually, I had a very good opportunity back in March. I was directing the Pavilion of Innovation in Barcelona in the exhibition of Construmat. Construmat is the largest fair for construction in Europe. The biggest in Spain, and I was directing the Pavilion of Innovation. That was let's say a collection at the end of projects that were coming from the academy, from the academic field, from the schools, and in the same place we were showcasing projects from professionals. So you can see, for sure you recognize some of the projects. You can see we had Archimenges, we had KUKA, we had WASP, we had Philip Bloch. And actually what we did, we follow all the process. So we were not only curating the exhibition, but we also design all the space, we build all the, let's say we design all the structure, we organize all the collection of the materials, and it was a good experience. We had a lot of visitors. We also ran and organized several workshops. We had pieces coming from IaaC as well. We had some guys here that came here teaching and giving classes on other topics that we really like. I will talk afterwards about it. We also had the pleasure to have some cool guy coming and give important speeches like Skylar Tibbits. Then we had also someone that you know, Hernan Diaz Alonso. So we had quite a good group of people coming. But the topic here was really about showcasing to everyone how it's really and truly connected innovation now between the university and the professional field and the market. Actually, what is really happening is that a lot of things that are now entering the market and are starting to be groundbreaking are coming from the schools. So we really try to to make it clear. And also, I mean, why not? We built the wiki house. We were there, so it was about construction. I don't know if you know something about the wiki house from Alastair Parvin. We had the chance to download all actually you also can do it, download all the pieces, then we milled the file, and then we actually built a part of it. Then talking about the research, this is where probably I have more fun. Actually, we have, at the moment, we have 4 projects running. One is still hidden. I will not tell you that it's a programmable dress, so you will never know it. But those other 3 projects are related to some collaboration and some bridges that we are starting to create. The first one is Dumo. It's a project that we are running, we were developing in collaboration with the Department of Urban Development of Barcelona. And basically, one day I was in the Fab Lab, and a guy came asking for an expert of grasshopper, which sometimes can be useful. So actually, what they really wanted was to generate a new legislation system that is not related and connected to papers, documents, to written laws, but can be translated into 3-dimensional models. So they had this idea of starting to embed into the 3-dimensional world all the information that you can actually see in legislation, no? When you do urbanism. So actually what we had to do, we had to start thinking about how can I actually start from a simple, very simple module. So we started with the typical structure of 6 by 6 for 3.5 meters. And then we also started to, this is an application, those are just screenshots of the application that we developed. But actually, we try to connect this system to a specific area. So every time that the street, every time that a project was going to be proposed, you need to embed into the program the area of intervention, and then you have also to choose the point of connection with the existing context. And from those input, you will get out a series of patterns. So this is, that was one of the variables from our system. Then again, there was a variable of height that was connected with the width of the streets. And from now on, basically, also we had the variable of orientation. So basically, we had a set, we built, let's say, a code that was based on a set of parameters, of variables. And since then, we started to optimize. So again, this is a screenshot, but imagine that these things start to change until the fitness values, the fitness value of the radiation reach the maximum level. Then we start to generate, through optimization, a catalog of possible neighborhoods. All of them are, of course, are connected to legislation. So all of them have a specific dimension. All of them have a specific dimension in terms of public space. All of them have a specific even dimension in terms of maximum height and urban pattern, and so on and so on and so on. So from those catalogs, what we did in collaboration with the Department of Energy, we choose the 10 best option. And from there, basically, we started to overlap some other analyses. We did the light, the elite, thermal analysis, and so on. And basically, we end up with a tool that basically the Department of Urban Development of Barcelona can use in order to propose to some specific, not even clients, but let's say a tool that they can use in order to generate urban strategies. And that then afterwards can be given to an architect, urban planners, in order to generate the architectural shape around it. Then another project that we were running last year was this one, was the project of NERO, Networking Environmental Robotics. It's a project that is coming from the experience of the Fab Academy. And the Fab Academy is this course that is directed by, as I told you, by Neil Gershenvi, blah, blah, blah. And the cool stuff is that every time you start the Fab Academy, you need to propose a final project at the beginning, which is kind of weird. And, but at the beginning what we wanted to propose was a drone, because we were actually very interested in the possibility to use drones in order to gather environmental data. So we did the Fab Academy. We had, at the end of the Fab Academy, our cool wooden drone. But yeah, we didn't achieve to collect any data out of it. So actually, that was actually our final goal. So basically, I went again to the Department of Urban Development of Barcelona, and I proposed this tool for them. And I said, like, guys, I mean, we are working with this technology. Probably it can be useful to generate some mapping of Barcelona. And yeah, we started to work on it. And our target at the beginning was to have something that actually it's already in the market. I mean, there are drones that are collecting those kind of data. They are generating photogrammetry map, they are collecting NDVI data, but we wanted to have our own tool. So we started, let's say that we designed a digital protocol. We decided that this kind of drone was designed computationally, then was going to be built in a Fab Lab, and then also we decided that we were going to write our own library in order to gather NDVI data and to visualize it. So, okay, we had our nice drone that is droning, one slide is missing, okay. That is designing Grasshopper, and then using some even Python libraries. And then also this drone can be laser cutted and fabricated in a Fab Lab, and it has a set of electronic components that is quite, easy to find in the market, but based on, that is, let's say that allow the drone to be used autonomously. So it's based on, GPS location. But at the end, I mean, we arrived to the main part, the part that we were really interested into. So how to extract now data with this drone. So basically, we started to write our own components, and we designed this library that is now in Food for Rhino, that is called Nero, and it's actually a library that allows to read the bands of an NGB picture. An NGB picture is a picture that has, instead of the RGB channels, one of the channels, the red channels, is the near-infrared channel. So what you can do actually with this library, you can actually use the infrared information in order to gather, to get the ability of plants to generate photosynthesis, and that gives you that is also called the NDVI, normalized index of vegetation for plants. So that's a normal picture with the NGB camera, and that's the picture analyzed. Actually, we were, at the moment we did this presentation, we were still testing only 2 cameras, but now we are testing even more cameras in order to get to our main goal. And our main goal is also to, let's say, to subdivide plants in order of, according to their different families. And yeah, we also started to get 3D-dimensional model out of it, and yeah, and we ended up having a tool. So what you do when you have a tool that more or less is working, no? You present it to some other partners. So I went to Boston for the Fab 11 conference, and actually there I met this very, very interesting guy, that is Rodrigo Bautista from Forum for the Future. And we started to talk about how to embed, include technology into a new way of doing farming, into a new way of, let's say, really pushing forward this technology in order to be embedded into environmental issues. So he had a plan that he was already running, and the plan is based on a circular economy model. So his idea is to map the land, then detect which are the parts of the vegetation that are less or more powerful, then empower those parts that are producing less nutrient, less food, And then once the food is eaten and become waste, we started to collaborate with the Università Autonoma de Barcelona in order to use a bioreactor and transform the waste into, again, a material that we can use in order to feed the land. So it's a circular economy system. And actually this team that we have now, it's quite cool. We have Forum for the Future, we have the Università Autonoma de Barcelona, we have the entire network of Fab Lab in Latin America collaborating with us. We also have the Ministry of Agriculture that is working with us. And actually it looks like we are really going to Costa Rica to map the land, and we will bring the drone from the Fab Academy to Costa Rica, and we will try to, to make something real out of it. Yeah, this is the slide. So actually, let's say it's our way to start to apply in reality something that started from the Fab Academy program, from education. Then this is another research project that we have been running for 3 years. Is RESHAPE. It's called RESHAPE. It's a platform that connects, I can not even say this anymore, it's quite boring to repeat it, but yeah, it's connecting designers, makers, and customers, which is something that 3 years ago was not happening so much, but it's something that now a lot of people is talking about. But what was the goal? I mean, I'm guru of Fab Academy, I work in the Fab Lab network since 3 years. And actually, it's quite irritating that you can get so many things from the Fab Lab, but it's happen very, very, how you say, not often, but the opposite. Very few times that one of these projects reached the market. Actually, is also, we can say that is never happening, almost. So basically, we started RESHAPE with the idea to push the most as we can designer in order to think about the entire process, not only think about having an idea and 3D print it, which is quite stupid, but also think about creating a sustainable environment in terms of economic around their project. So we push them to move from idea to product, and we also push the Fab Lab from the other side to switch from prototyping to production. I mean, the Fab Lab, if you think about them, are a lot, and they can become easily a distributed chain of production, no? Where you don't need to centralize everything in one single place, but actually you can fabricate and deliver locally, no, on site. And on the other side, there is the typical problem that you have in a Fab Lab, and it's also related to money. Again, in Boston, Neil Gershenfield and all the others were discussing about the economical model of a Fab Lab. It's kind of something that it's a myth, something that looks like everybody's talking about it, but nobody's seen it, never saw it. So basically, we started to plan and discuss about how they should be developing, if there exists an economy around it. Around them, the life cycle, how to generate communities around. I mean, a lot of talks that at the end it's very difficult to concretize in something that is a shape. And actually, that's what we are doing in RESHAPE. It's a distributed research, as I refer to it. So we established by the community. We started by generating a community around it. We started by education, which if you didn't understand, I really believe into. And we really were focusing the market, which is something that cannot be missing, I think. So I started sending a lot of emails from home 3 years ago to a lot of Fab Labs around the network, and now we reach more or less 40 Fab Labs that are part of RESHAPE. Every year we run one of those competitions of ideas that probably you may think that are useless, but no, you will see that they are not. And we have more or less every year 140 designers participating in the network, and we are also now establishing, since we are growing, some local nodes that will conduct RESHAPE activities locally, so not only centrally by us in Barcelona, but even in the other countries. And yeah, about education, we run a workshop, competition, exhibition, and all these things. About the market, we have our teams of business advisors. We are trying hard to involve a big company that is called HP into our incubator program. We participate, blah, 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 do a lot of events. And this is the last competition that we have been organizing. Is connected to one of the topics that we really like, that is wearable technology. And it's a competition that also Alessio was part of it. Was pushing the designer as well to propose something that is connected to the body, and it's related to all the tools that we like and all the process of fabrication that we have been talking these 2 days. We received 71 applications from 25 countries and the total number of 130 designers. And this beautiful girl is the winner of RESHAPE competition. Which is, I didn't decide it. All the time it's because I'm Italian, yeah, I decided the girl, that is not true. Actually, it was quite interesting project, apart from quite a beautiful girl. But what was the thing? I mean, it's a 3D printed bra, which is absolutely annoying. But the cool part of this project is that they developed in the University of California a special fabric which has inside a sponge that is only, let's say, attracting oil-based liquids and not water. So can be used in order to clean the water. Actually, to put kind of a system like this on top of a body, it's kind of a provocation. But because of this project, we started to be called by companies of, naval industry, and also we are trying to embed this technology into projects that are more related to harbor, right? You should help me, Stuart, with English. And well, but I will, you can go online and check a little bit the other information, that we had the second prize, third prize, a lot of good projects that are related to data and then digital fabrication. We had the exhibition in the Maker Faire, and now we will exhibit as well the project in Barcelona in the Mater Fad. But actually, I mean, I just want to say that the winner won because the team really understood that the real next shift, if it's not clear after 2 days here, is into understanding the material. So it's understanding how we can program materials and use materials in order to mix their behaviors and generate something completely new that can become, at the end, a project, a new process. No, I think this is the real stuff. This project, The Beautiful Girl, has been published on CNN, on Discovery Channel, National Geographic, and a lot of other places. Then probably this should have been at the beginning. Then there is our educational line. With our educational line, I mean, what we do, we don't really run workshop randomly. We try to organize workshops that are somehow a reflection of what we are doing in the office. So this one was a workshop related to data visualization. Then we had here in Bratislava one workshop that was connected to environmental analysis. And then we ran, all the time I click twice, sorry guys. Then we also ran another workshop in Paris connected to optimization. There's 3 workshops, we used all of them for the Barcelona regional project. Then this is a workshop that we have been doing in Rome connected to structural analysis, Caramba. A guy of Caramba was supposed to come, he's not here, right? No. Okay. And then we started to scale up. So we started to build something that was with a group of Egyptian students, very nice, but yeah, okay, it was okay. And it was okay. I had my good time. And look at this one, for instance. That's how we work a lot of times. That is a workshop that we publish on the Fab Lab network. Everybody knows about it. It was actually, this is the drone, the first drone that we did, no? The drone of the Fab Academy. But it was the moment, in between the moment where we finished the Fab Academy, we had this drone in our hands and we really wanted to start collecting data with it. So we proposed this workshop. It never happened, but there is still people talking about it like it happened. But it was very useful for us in order to get into the funding from Barcelona Regional. Because actually we wrote a brief, and the brief was kind of a manifesto of the project that then we developed, and now we are bringing to Costa Rica. And this is one of the last installation that we did in, actually this is the last installation that we did in Frosinone in Milan. That was again a result of a workshop that was more connected to the topic of folding and breaking the fold. And now actually you can control geometry, a complex geometry, by using the origami technique, and but breaking them and starting to control and orient the structure. This is a workshop. There is another cool thing that never happened, but is again a project that we will propose next year for the summer school in Paris, and it's more connected to what we are all doing here. So with the intention, probably would be nice to work also with you about it, to generate an habitat let's say an habitat that is more connected to all these kind of new tools that we have, all this ability to of architecture to respond to be responsive to the user, to the Internet of Things, to data, information, embed everything into one unique program. Okay, and now, as I told you, I'm also directing several programs in IaaC. That is a program that is called Exchanging Program CIE, and is a program that my master didn't want to do, Luis Fraguada, so I did it. But it's okay. It was also a nice experience, and yeah, I mean, I shouldn't comment about it, but that's probably our attitude in general that we have. So I mean, I just show you what we did in the last year. We are in the middle of a process, and hopefully, I mean, we will have something more nice to show you next year. Yeah? That's it.
1 year, you say?
1 year, yeah, that was last year.
No wonder that you have to schedule the Skype calls like months ahead.
I know. It's a little bit stressing.
You probably have the most projects finished in 1 year that I've ever seen. Incredible.
I didn't have a lot of weekends.
Yeah.
But it's okay. Stuart can say.
Now, questions.
This typical moment of silence.
It's
nice. I like this one.
I will tell you. Just I say ask questions, and now let's stay silent.
Yeah.
Somebody will feel so awkward that they will ask something.
I never ask questions as well, so I understand you. If you don't have.
Let's be quiet now. Questions.
Stuart, do a question.
You have to
I did a question to you.
I feel like I have to.
Okay, right,
So
exactly.
we can continue the feedback loop of compliments. Congratulations, Noah. I know that you work really hard all year. I know you don't really take so many weekends. I've seen you look awful like half this year.
Thank you.
You've done a lot, and you're on one side you're working towards producing the drone, which is like something that actually maybe someone will use. The library, which hopefully more and more people will use with all these drones flying around. Everyone seems to have one. Maybe we can actually do something useful with them instead of like flying them into windows. You're doing the workshops on the side. It's a bit of an unfair question, but where do you see Noumena in like 5 years? Where do you want to be?
Look, it's not an unfair question. Actually, I want to have one of those things, one of these nice projects that we are getting from RESHAPE, where by one of you. That's my goal. I know that MIT is doing a lot of things, and actually I was really jealous when I've been there, but I think that if we establish a good environment around our ideas, that means that we have to have a good plan, we need to have a lot of partners around it, we can actually make those things into reality. No? We can bring those things into the market, we can build a project. So actually what I want is really to make one of those nice projects a real thing, you know. That's my goal. And I was really, really happy that after this nice bikini was published everywhere, we received a call from a company that is doing textiles, and now we are starting to work on, as I said before, on a programmable textile that hopefully will be sold in 1 year time. So I think the reality is that, I mean, it's what I said before even to Stuart. It's cool that we are here. It's okay that we are showing each other our job, our work. But I have this thing in mind that there was this moment in modernism where all Le Corbusier, Gropius, Mies, probably, I don't know if Mies was there, they went on a boat and they wrote a nice paper, no, a manifesto. And I think this is the place where we should be, or this is the condition, no? If it's not this place, but this is the condition where we should be starting to get serious about it. It's cool that we show a lot of projects from the university. It's very nice, but I mean, we need to do it, right? So there has to arrive a moment where we start to do these things. So it's like your robot that was coming in the back of your cover. I mean, we need to understand where we are failing now, what are the bullshit that we are saying, and try to increase and empower our strength point, and you know, and do it as a team, as a unit, you know. So it's kind of our Siam moment. No, we are on a boat here. There's a boat, okay. So it's not the Titanic, I hope, right? I think.
I have a question related to both. So when the modernists were proposing this project, this was embedded as well in a specific idea of society, which was at that time kind of, there were basically a bunch of socialists on the boat as well, right? We had a kind of an idea of an economy and a society and a type of politics that was tied into the project. And when you're talking about like the economic models of Fab Labs and the kind of like startup attitude you present in this presentation, I'm also doing startup myself, so it's not an accusation. I'm also wondering, what are the kind of politics and economists that you are actually talking about? Like, would you, in that kind of project, are we just inscribing ourselves in that kind of like Californian startup culture, which is actively eroding our society and is kind of breaking large parts of society just for the sake of doing a nice startup and like whatever, you know, it's a nice startup, get some funding, make a new website, or like what is our kind of attitude?
No.
When we are on this boat,
you know, when you build a project, you do construction details, right? No, if you need to build this one, you're gonna do construction details, right? If you have a nice idea, if you want to gather data from using a drone, blah, 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 you need to have a business plan. That's your construction detail as well. You need to have a business model. You need to understand which are your competitors, where is your market sector. It sounds so bad to say, but actually if you don't do it, you're never gonna have it. This thing.
Really my question.
But
I'm doing the same thing. I also have a business plan on a nice website. But the question is more like, do you think, like, how would you comment on that need of maybe also having a more political and social project behind all these things? Because like the Fab Labs are talking about democratizing.
Yeah. But well,
it's a political project.
Yeah.
Very clear economic.
Look, the drone project, Nero, was published last week on Atlas for the Future, and the title was Democratizing Data. Actually, I mean, it's amazing. Imagine that democratizing information, it's actually, you are completely right, it's the goal of kind of establishing or a process that can allow everyone to build this drone, to fly the drone, to get the data, get the information, and actually is one of the main reasons why we are there in Costa Rica. Not because we are the only one that can extract NDVI data, but because we will go there, we will teach to the farmers how to do it, because we also run workshops that are connected to it. So there is a strong educational side connected to it. Then look also at the partners. The partners that are involved are the Ministry of Agriculture, the Università Autonoma di Barcelona for the chemical part. I don't know if I'm answering. I hope.
Not really.
Not really. Yes. Yeah. I'm trying. and doing like Pelé. It's a little bit, I'm hiding the ball. But in any case, I think the strategy and the intention is the one of, from our side, create a bottom-up process where we can really access in our way the market and access a new system of information, or generate a new system of information, generate a new condition where we can actually even create new job opportunities with our technology, you know. So I think, you know, one of the reasons the people from Costa Rica was asking about drones was because a lot of young farmers are leaving the farms in Costa Rica. And instead, they would really like to, they said that they can probably propose to use drones in order to, you're going to say something,
yeah,
in order
yeah,
to stay there.
Subject here.
Okay, go.
Let's get back to, I mean, you dropped the mic a little bit and brought up SciOM, and we're supposed to be doing SciOM right now. And I wanted to know what that looks like today. Because you're coming from basically Silicon Valley point of view of how we need to optimize open sourceness and media sources in order to create a system to inform people and to make a profit from. The current business model today, I have friends with some of the guys in Silicon Valley, I totally agree with it. That's how we have to do it. I mean, social media is what makes us today. So my question is, would it be a boat? And if it was, would it be streamed online?
I mean, first of all, it's the first time that someone is telling me that I come from the Silicon Valley. I really like, I want to enjoy this moment. But, I mean, it's kind of weird because I teach in the Fab Academy. I mean, I'm super connected to the Fab Lab world and the community of sharing. And actually, that's one of the things that we believe most. But the reality is that I may don't have the answer for it, but I for sure have the answer that we really need to try seriously to get into the game. And I think that if we keep on avoiding that there is another side of the wall, how many of you are not architects or engineers? Or so basically here there is architects and engineers, right? It's amazing. No? We only talk with each other, we show our nice project, and that's super nice. But this is not going to change the rest of the world that is outside of this door, you know?
There's not just architects in the boat.
Exactly. We need to bring inside other people, and I'm not, I mean, my point, I just told you, I mean, we are collaborating with the University of Barcelona because they are chemists. Then there is the other people from the economical side. I mean, we need to create and to be able to work with multiple teams, no, different teams. So, I mean, my point is just that if we just keep on talking to each other, we will just show rendering for the next 20, 30 years, which is awful. So I don't want to show renderings. And I also respect a lot Stewart project, for instance, or the one of Alessio before. But Stewart didn't say, but it's 1 year that he's trying to generate an economical model behind the project that he has. And it's super difficult. I mean, when the game gets serious, and it's not about showing a video or a rendering, is where you really need to have other people in your team. Otherwise, it's not just going to work, I think. Yeah?
In this regard,
Mm-hmm.
in this regard, I would somehow turn it to what I was saying in the morning. Do you think that how do you feel that your work is still architecture? And let me restate it a bit. I don't really care about this so much. What I care about more is how do you connect your approach to the history of architecture, maybe of 20th century. Is there any interest of yours in?
Of course. I mean, I've been doing architecture 10 years, normal architecture. But I mean, the question if this is architecture, it shouldn't be done. because this is, of course, architecture. Architecture is information, architecture is space, no? You said before architecture is sound,
So
no?
architecture is everything.
Isn't it? Architecture is where we live. No, it's not. It's nothing. No, architecture is actually the environment where we are living. Is this, right? So architecture is a mixture, and it's an overlapping of a lot of different layers, no? Like the city. Well, city is nothing. A city is an overlapping of social behaviors, legislation, a lot of things. Those probably it's a moment in those project that I show you where we only focus on one of those layers, you know? So the game starts when we start to overlap those layers. With the Nero, with the Deron, we are generating a first layer of data. With this layer, we will then go and generate an action, right? That will become architecture, and so on.
I think according to your city model, I have a question. I mean, Barcelona has like a long history in urbanization, or Sellers plan was actually the first urbanization plan. And what Seller actually did, so he optimized completed infrastructure with canalization and all the topics. But on top, the blocks, or the urban blocks, were based on combinatorics. Or there was certain embedment of freedom and possibilities, which was open-ended in their combinations, or possible combinations. Which still, this block model or the plan would to a certain level work today as well.
Yeah.
When you propose your model, you extend the infrastructure like completely from the ground, like to above or to really to the sky or the top of the building. So the architecture itself, or the cells or the flats, they become somehow measured by the kind of democratization of data. What do you tell? Like what gets like part of this infrastructure. So now how this can over long term such a model work when you know like that all this infrastructure issues as well should be extended and so on, or like that you need actually separation between something which is stable or stays over a certain time and another thing which is or like a social issues which are frequently on the flow and changing. I mean, like, you turn everything with this like into infrastructure, and like on another side you have the designer, or like how it overlaps, like the democratization of data and then the freedom of design.
First of all, it's a project that is not completed. It's something that I mean, it's a project that is 1 year project that is still going on. And actually, I really consider like a research that is still in process. And I also think that it's a very, very complex and delicate topic, because actually we are considering some parameters, but I said before, the city is the result of so many parameters that we should be taking in consideration, and we are not taking into consideration with this model, which is a thing that I don't like at all. What we are proposing at the end, it's not architecture. It's a naked structure, you know, that can be used only in order to give a guidance to the designer to embed architecture on top of it. So what we are doing is that this should be a conformation that is, let's say, more performative in terms of energy, in terms of responding to a program that the municipality wants to embed into the land. But what I don't like about this research is that we didn't stress out the pattern of the city. We didn't try, for instance, to do the same with the CERTA plan. You know what happened, for instance?
So it's crucial for you not to understand as a master plan.
Yeah.
It's really like for each design object you get, this is a kind of help or support you do.
That's the goal at the end.
Yeah. Okay.
So I mean, I told you, I'm really, and actually I wanted to do it with him, Jan, I'm talking about you. I wanted to do it with you to actually, to experiment using Anemone or Mateusz and other tools, the overlap of different patterns. There was a nice exhibition in Biennale in 2010 probably. There was an exhibition about the city, and you have all those panels of different patterns from Cerdà, Brazil. And, you know, actually what we wanted to do is what the city looks like when it's a combination of patterns, which is also a very IaaC thing. Instead of combining your I would say, I don't know how to call them, but animals, we wanted to combine patterns and generate a cadaveric skis city, no? So I really don't like that we stop, because there was something that never happened before in the world. Basically, there were the political election, and the other party won. So whoever was connected to the guy in charge of the department of Barcelona Regional had to momentarily leave the department. I don't know if you ever heard about something similar, but yeah, it's a research that we will continue hopefully soon, in 1 month, 2 months, I don't know. So yeah, that's it, I hope, no? Right? Thank you.